Aloha GBA fans, and welcome back to the weekly recap. It is your boy Hoots, and in this video we're going to be talking about some key moments and top plays of the GBA. We have Zooks joining me today as we break down week 6.
Salve GBA fans, it's Zooks here.
If you haven't yet, please go and check out our coaches. They put on a great show this week. But without further ado, let's get into the standings. As we can see, number 1 is still being held by the Bullet Punch Club, led by TheUzigunner with 20 points. Up next, we got Playmore at 16. Got Goldoa and JV both tied for 3rd place. With 12 points, we got the Borussia Donphans holding strong at 5th place, tied with the Edmonton Coilers for 10 points each. We got the Chicago Dragapults, a little bit of falling behind, sitting out at 7, but don't count him out yet. Next, we got the Wolverhampton Weaviles, sitting at 8 points. The San Francisco Arcaniners with 6. We got the Copenhagen Sawsbucks and the Calgary Flamethrowers both tied with 4 points. And last but not least, we got the San Diego Snugglers with 2 points. Like I said, they all put on amazing matches, so please go ahead and check out their videos. But if you want a breakdown, here we go. We got the Chicago Dragapults traveling to New York Empoleons for this week. There were some crazy shenanigans, and both teams put up a solid fight. It was back and forth the entire battle. But one of the earliest plays that I can see that really put Q ahead was a crit para from their Iron Moth into a Ceruledge, weakening it and taking its momentum very early on in the match. Another solid play was Weakness Policy Mew, catching Q off guard and being able to deal some big damage to Ironing Hands, weakening it and being able to take it out. But the real top play here has to be Goldoa, sacrificing his Greninja to take out Pult, so Zapdos will be able to come in and clean up the match. They are able to T-Wave their Mesprit, weakening it enough and being able to outspeed now so that a few Bruce and some really good Hurricanes securing a 2-0 victory against the Chicago Dragapults.
For our next matchup, we have the still undefeated home team of the Bullet Punch Club, facing off against our away team, the Wolverhampton Weaviles. The battle begins with both opponents pivoting around, trying either to pass around some status conditions or set up hazards. However, eventually both bulky ground types are removed from the field, leaving no hazards behind. Eventually, then, the Weaviles are able to stop a potentially dangerous Weakness Policy Hisuian Bravery. However, this allows the Dragonite to switch in to the Gengar and set up a Dragon Dance. The Weaviles had absolutely nothing that could have damaged the Dragonite at this point, since they switched out their Gengar instead of attacking on that Dragon Dance turn. From there on out, the Dragonite picks up every single remaining KO in the match. A noteworthy thing, however, is when knocking out the Gengar, the Bullet Punch Club opts to avoid using the terrifying Terra Blast, knowing that Gengar's Curse Body could potentially disable the move, which could prevent the KO against the Walking Wake, and that is the kind of careful battling that is what allows the home team to secure another victory, remaining undefeated.
Next up, we got the Calgary Flamethrowers welcoming the Atlanta Victinis. So this match has some pretty hacksy moments, but you have to see it to believe what happens here. First up, Jay is able to get a pretty crucial freeze on Orthworm utilizing Abomasnow, allowing Abomasnow to not only stay healthy, but also with Orthworm gone, frees up a lot of Jay's Mons and puts him in a winning position. But Galeadite74 has not called quits yet, as he comes in with a Ursaluna, putting a big fire punch on an incoming Corviknight, KOing the next turn and shifting the momentum onto his side. However, it was just not enough, as the Atlanta Victinis are able to come in and secure the close 1-0 victory.
For our next match, we have the home team of the Copenhagen Sawsbucks facing off against the away team of the Borussia Donphan. This match was a careful display of pivoting by both sides. At this point in the season, having a negative record can put your chances of entering playoffs in jeopardy, so it was clear that both teams wanted to be intentional with their moves, making sure that each turn they did not fall behind their adversary. Throughout the match, we saw Lars falling back on his defensive Terra Fairy Cresselia, while Frosted would answer with her Choice Specs Analytic Magnezone, dealing massive damage. However, the Sawsbucks also found themselves on the back foot more than once, allowing for Borussia to heal up their team with Cresselia's Moonlight and Pawmot's Revival Blessing. Eventually, the Donphan started to pull ahead, but even towards the end of the match, Lars continued to keep a level head, not pulling the trigger on a setup Salamence too early and making some commanding double switches to maintain control of the late game. There were many incredible great plays in this matchup from both sides. However, I think the Salamence double switching towards the end of the battle, taking out the Hydreigon, is when the fate of the match was sealed, giving Lars and the Borussia Donphan a 2-0 victory on the road. For our next matchup, we have the home team of the Edmonton Coilers facing the San Francisco Arcaniners on the road. With a standard start to the match, we see both sides setting up Stealth Rocks, which is relevant to the Arcaniners as they have a Volcarona that is not wearing heavy-duty boots, nor has it yet terastallized. With no hazard clear on their team, Haydunn decides to bring the Volcarona in early, setting up a Quiver Dance and taking out the Tyranitar with a double critical hit. The Thundurus then comes in to Revenge Kill as the Arcaniners set up dual screens, bringing in the Gyarados, not showing the Intimidate, which usually screams of a Dragon Dance set, so the Coilers bring in the Iron Valiant with a Speed Booster Energy to outspeed after a Dragon Dance. However, the Arcaniners are actually Choice Scarfed, so the booster energy remains relevant, but due to the Arcaniners being scarfed, instead of a Dragon Dance, they choose to lock in the Earthquake in case the Goodra came in. This allows the Valiant to live 2 Earthquakes, taking out the Gyarados and the Chi-Yu. And while the Arcaniners attempt to salvage the battle with Unburdened Hawlucha, Valiant's Shadow Sneak denies that opportunity and finishes up the match, giving the victory to the Edmonton Coilers.
Last but not least, we have the San Diego Snugglers traveling to play more esports. And this is the battle of the assistant coaches, where Kurpie from the San Diego Snugglers is taking on John Jr. for Play More Esports. One very crucial play is Playmore getting Torkoal to Shell Smash and then being able to take out Cyclizar with Flare Blitz and Poison Chip. This was a very good thing early on, being able to not only get rid of the Cyclizar, which was their only spinner, but the speed has now shifted into Playmore's favor. A crucial turn for the San Diego Snugglers was Rotom being able to burn the Kilowattrel, getting some residual damage, with a Light Screen up and landing 2 Hydro Bumps to KO Kilowattrel and put the momentum on their side for a bit. However, we cannot talk about this match without going into the #1 player of the game in Bubby, being able to recover on the Jugulis's Protect, allowing it to live on a sliver for the Hurricane, and then winning the match for Play More Esports for a very close 2-0 victory. And there you have it, folks. That was the weekly recap for the GBA Week 6. Thank you to my co-host Zooks for joining us. And don't forget to check out the Week 7 preview coming up soon.